Hi, my name's Michelle,
And I'm Lexa.
and we did our project on pantothenic acid, or vitamin B5. The different forms of this vitamin include food, CoA, phosphopantothene, panthenol, and calcium pantothenate. The preferred form is food because there aren't any naturally representative estimates of pantothenic acid intake.
Pantothenic acid is used in metabolic reactions through coenzyme A. Excellent sources include turkey breast, sunflower seeds, shiitake mushrooms, beef liver, lamb liver, avocados, sockeye salmon, brown or white rice, or canned mushroom gravy. Good sources include sweet potatoes, orange juice, proclaim, eggs, blackberries, peanuts, burrito with beans, cream of soup, potato soup, and wild Atlantic salmon.
Deficiency is rare under normal circumstances and has been observed only in experimental conditions in those fed a diet void of B5. There is no evidence of toxicity. Excess is excreted through diarrhea and water retention may result. Deficiency in excess or toxicity is rare because pantothenic acid is a water-soluble vitamin. If deficiency does occur, it can be treated by eating foods rich in pantothenic acid.
There is no association of pantothenic acid with sickness, illness, pathologies, or injuries. There is no reason to believe that pantothenic acid is necessary for athletic performance beyond that obtained from dietary intake. The main function of pantothenic acid is the synthesis of coenzyme A, which is needed for fatty acid synthesis and degradation. There are also several different functions. It is used in alcohol detoxification because it is involved in the metabolism of acetaldehyde. The anti-stress effect is necessary for the combining complex of steroid hormones and adrenal gland functioning. Pantothenic acid enhances the release of energy from carbohydrates. It is involved in the synthesis of bile acids, cholesterol, fats, and phospholipids. Lastly, it is involved in the production of hemoglobin and red blood cells.
An interesting fact not found in the book was that based on the experiences of prisoners of World War II in which the study showed that their diets were lacking B5 in conjunction with administration of an antagonist of pantothenic acid metabolism. With this, a deficiency was associated with the following symptoms, which included numbness and burning of the hands and feet, headache, fatigue, irritability, restlessness, disturbed sleep, gastrointestinal disturbances, as well as anorexia. Research from within the past 2 years suggests that beef, chicken, organ meats, and whole grains are some of the best sources of pantothenic acid, and freezing and food processing, however, can decrease the amount of pantothenic acid in food by 35 to 75%.
There is no reason to suggest that pantothenic acid has any known serious reactions with different drugs. However, mild reactions have been reported. Pantothenic acid and biotin play a role in the maintenance of normal intestinal integrity and health. In the form of panthenol, there are moisturizing properties, so it is commonly used in cosmetic products, while in the form of calcium pantothenate, acne treatments are mainly used. Coenzyme A, or phosphopantothene, is a dietary form of pantothenic acid. They are converted to pantothenic acid by digestive enzymes, then absorbed by the intestines and delivered to the bloodstream.
Men and women over the age of 19 have an adequate intake of 5 milligrams per day for pantothenic acid. Pregnant and breastfeeding women require 7 milligrams of pantothenic acid per day. The group that is most at risk of developing a pantothenic acid deficiency is people with a pantothenate kinase-associated neurodegeneration 2 mutation, also known as PKAN. Pantothenic acid kinase is associated with CoA synthesis, and the ability to convert pantothenic acid to coenzyme A is inhibited with PKAN. Deficiency with pantothenic acid is rare because it is present in so many different foods. And there is no evidence that a high intake of pantothenic acid will cause adverse effects. The only problems reported were mild diarrhea and gastrointestinal distress. The research article that we found is studies the transport and metabolism of pantothenic acid in human erythrocytes infected with malaria parasites. Within the study, it showed that the growth of the malaria parasite within its host, which is the erythrocyte, depends upon the uptake of various essential nutrients from the extracellular medium, one of which is pantothenic acid. In this study, it was found that normal, uninfected red blood cells are impermeable to pantothenate. However, the vitamin is taken up very quickly in malaria-infected cells through a transport pathway of which pantothenate plays a vital physiological role. There is few, if any, evidence to suggest that other essential nutrients being transported within the pathway play any physiological role in the parasitized cell. Inside the parasitized cell, pantothenate undergoes phosphorylation, which is the first step in its conversion to coenzyme A. Parasites within the red blood cells were shown to take up and phosphorylate pantothenate.
With this being said, most, maybe even all of the phosphorylation of the pantothenate within the malaria-infected cell occurs within this intracellular parasite. Evidence supports that pantothenate aids in the growth of the malaria parasite. Studies done on chickens as well as in vitro growth demonstrates this, and that the diets deficient in pantothenic acid inhibited malaria growth.
We had 3 different test questions. The first question is, what is the importance of pantothenic acid in regards to metabolic processes? The answer to this question is, pantothenic acid is used for the synthesis of coenzyme A, which helps in the formation of acetyl-CoA. With this process, 1 carbon from 3-carbon pyruvate is removed and added to the coenzyme A that is derived from pantothenic acid. After combining with oxygen, the carbon is released as part of CO2, and the acetyl-CoA from this process then enters the TCA cycle. This then continues onto the electron transport chain. Our next question is a true or false question, and it reads, pantothenic acid, aside from the amount consumed through diet, is necessary for athletic performance. The answer to this question is false. There is no evidence that suggests that it is beneficial to athletic performance. Our last question is, all of the following are true about pantothenic acid except A. Pantothenic acid is water soluble. B. Pregnant and breastfeeding women require more pantothenic acid intake than the average person. C. Deficiency is common for pantothenic acid. D. Answer choices A and B, or E, all of the above. The answer to this question is C. Deficiency is common for pantothenic acid. This is false because deficiency is actually uncommon.
And that concludes our presentation of pantothenic acid.